Okay, hey everybody. I'm sitting down real quick with Natalie Christensen, my partner and fellow co-founder of the Center for Emotional Education, and just wanted to ask her a couple questions about emotional sovereignty. So, hey Natalie.
Hi.
I know I'm interrupting your work as you're refining presentation for our coach training, but I wanted to ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So we talk about this a fair amount in different contexts in different trainings that we do. So it's not like I'm asking you something you've never heard about, but you don't know what I'm going to ask you. So I'll just kind of introduce it. That we often talk about the time that it takes for the kind of work that we do to really begin to take root and have an effect at different levels in someone's life. And so, would you be willing to just say a little bit about the different stages of that as the work that we do with folks and as the training that we do with folks takes root in their lives, the different stages of effect and the progression of time?
Yeah. So what I've seen is there's a starting point, right? I want you to be on camera. I feel a little bit lonely here.
Okay.
A starting point, like ground zero, and that's usually when somebody's like, whatever this is, isn't working. Mm-hmm. So that's like a starting point. And then as soon as they pick up any smidge of this stuff we're talking about, emotional sovereignty, school, emotional sovereignty in general, any tiny little bit of tool, their brain goes, oh, what? What's that? And that's where the progress starts. And right away, it feels good. And right away, there's a positive effect. And right away, there's like a neural snack, of like, oh, that was cool. That was different. I like that. That felt good. And there's immediate good stuff, like ding, ding, ding. And which is great because it encourages you to keep at it. And
so just to add on, you're talking about the neurochemistry that rewards us for this learning and growth.
It feels good, and automatically you're not doing the same old thing that you've been doing that you are fed up with. Mm-hmm. You're doing something different. Mm-hmm. So it feels good on an emotional level, neurochemical level, and it actually works better in your life. And so even just on the practical level, right away there's benefit. Mm-hmm. And then, but I think what you want me to talk to is that if you keep at this, because we're talking about retraining our brains to respond differently to emotion in general and to like be done with the debilitating effects of emotional overwhelm. In my experience, that takes 5 years. Mm-hmm. And it's not like, oh, it's just so crappy and then at the 5-year mark it's good. It's good right off the bat, and it gets better and it gets better and it gets better, and then it becomes the way that you live. And then one day you're just walking along the river trail with your partner and you're like, we've been at this, and like my brain is different. Even if I have a big trigger, I timed it the other day and it took me 2 minutes to transition out of that and come back to a regulated state. That's because my brain is now different. And I think that's about the 5-year mark.
Yeah. So we talk about 3 stages of brain change. Do you feel comfortable talking about that for just a second? Just so folks, those,
say the 3 stages.
Fellow neuro geeks out there would be interested in hearing that part.
You say 3 stages, I'll say what it's like in real life.
Okay, so first there's the neurochemistry, like you were first talking about there, where we get especially dopamine that rewards our brain for learning something new. And that helps us get better at it over the course of, say, a day or over the course of a week. But then as we stick with it, we enter a second stage where we get new wiring, right? New synapses that form. And then over time, those new synapses that are between parts of the brain that maybe previously weren't talking to each other, those get myelinated, so they get super fast. And then the third stage is when parts of the brain actually change. And we use loosely refer to the amygdala there.
Yeah, like the metaphor that comes to mind is like, you're like, I don't feel good in my body or my relationship. I'm going to take up running, you know? And it's like a new thing. You've never done it before, but you run, and you run that day. And you're like, I only ran around the block, but like, woo, like that felt like something. Okay, right? So that's just the first initial stage. And then you keep doing it. You keep practicing it. And so each time you can maybe run a little further, there's greater benefit. The like, the neurochemicals of like pleasure of having done that. Your muscles are stronger. You're more able to run. And then the third stage is like, I'm a runner. I run far. I run fast. I think nothing of it. I recover quickly. I'm capable. I'm a more capable human being in the running department. So brain change is the same way around emotions. At first you're like, I had an emotion and okay, it wasn't so bad and I did these things, it's better now. You know, like that was not okay, that was good, right? And then you're like, I'm gonna do that more, and you practice it more, and then you're like, oh, okay, like I can do emotions, like this is kind of not a big deal. And then eventually the third stage of brain change where you're like, I'm not afraid of emotion, I do emotion quickly and efficiently. In fact, I live an entirely different life because I have a brain that is made for that now.
Yeah. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, and so not just giving skills that train people to do emotional processing and do it better, easier, more efficiently, but also giving them tools and skills to help them to cultivate a kind of brain that has an easier time even with the concept of being with emotion, but also with the being with emotion part.
Right. And all the benefits that come with that.
Like what?
Greater connection, just less fear in general, less anxiety in general, spending more time just like in your body, in this present moment, less sensitive both to like sounds and other people and situations, but also like touch and smell and taste. Like your whole system is more capable, so you can smell all the smells and feel all the feels and go deep into whatever you want to go deep into, and it is not a risk to your system. It's fully capable and able and interested in that.
Wow, that sounds good.
Yeah, it
Really
is good.
Yeah.
So there you go. We have to cut it soon, or else they won't let us post it.
Okay, let's cut it soon. Thanks for being willing to answer my questions.
You're
Really
welcome.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
And hopefully this helps other folks know a little bit more about what we're talking about over here in Emotional Sovereignty School, especially.
Yeah.
All right. Be well.